Well, hello everyone. I welcome you all at Smart Education. Today we will be starting with CSEET Non-Verbal Reasoning lecture number 2. But before starting the video, already lecture 1 has been uploaded on YouTube. If you have not watched lecture number 1, please go and watch lecture number 1 so you get the full conceptual clarity related to lecture number 1. Okay. Today we will be starting with lecture number 2. Please concentrate on this lecture so you get the full conceptual clarity for your CSEET concepts. So let's begin with the lecture. So let's start with the question. A team of 5 is to be selected from amongst 5 boys A, B, C, D, E that you are seeing on the picture and 4 girls P, Q, R, S and some criteria for selection are given. So this is the criteria that when we are making the team that we should consider while making the criteria. So let's read the criteria. Okay. A and S have to be together while making a team. Okay. P cannot be put with R. D and Q cannot go together. C and E have to be together and R cannot be put with B. If you imagine this condition, then you are going to solve any kind of question from this question. Okay. So now let's consider the questions. Okay. So let's start with the question. If two of the members have to be boys, the team will consist of. So here are our options. Remember one thing. So these are your condition. You have to consider this condition so you can decide which one will be the correct answer. Okay, so let's start with the first option, A, B, S, P, Q. So let's start with A. So we know that A has to be put together with S. So is here S? Yes, S is here. So let me write down A and S has have been in this team. Okay, in the first option. Now let's consider our other option. The second is B. So let's check our condition. B cannot be put with R. So are you seeing any kind of R here? No, obviously not. So let me write down here B. Okay. Now let's check our two other condition while to be selected when the two member will be boys. So let's consider P and Q. Is there any enmity between P and Q? No, because P has an enmity with R and obviously Q has enmity with D. So they cannot be put with team. So I think the option 1 will be the correct answer. Okay. I hope you got a very good understanding. Just remember these condition or make condition when the question is different in your mind while imagining. Okay, and I hope you will be passed in CSET with a very good marks. Okay, and don't forget to write present sir in the comment section so I can mark your attendance. Okay, now let's move on to our second question. If R be one of the members, the other members of the team are, means here is our R, she is one of the our members. Okay, now we have to decide other team members. Now let's consider our first option, PSAD. Okay, so in PSAD you are already seeing that R has an enmity with P, so the first option has been eliminated. Now let's consider our second option, QSAD. First of all, let's see R's enmity with P and R is enemy of B also. So let's consider our second option again, sorry. Now first let's consider Q. Okay, so Q has an enmity with D. So D cannot be in the team or either Q cannot be in the team. So the second option has also been eliminated. Now let's move on to our third option. Now let's consider P. Now you know that P has an enmity with only R. So are you seeing any kind of R here? No. Yes, yes, P is correct. But here is a twist. A should be with S. Okay. But here is only S. So C option is also eliminated. So the correct option will be D. Okay. Now let's move on to our next question. So this question is for yourself in homework and write down the correct answer in comment section. Okay. Now let's move on to classification topic. Okay. So classification means to assort the items of a given group on the basis of certain common quality they possess and spot the odd one out. So basically some option will be given. We have to find the similarities and eliminate the odd one out. Okay. When you will solve the question with me, you will basically understand that. Okay. In this type of questions will be provided with a group of 5 items, out of which 4 would be similar to one another in a certain relationship and one would be different from them. Okay, when you will solve the question with me, you will basically understand that. Okay, so let's start with our question. Choose the odd one out. Horse, lion, giraffe, cheetah, panda. Okay, so there are basically 5 options here. You will all considering that these are all animals. So the correct option will be horse. So why horse will be correct answer? Let's see explanation. All are animals, but only horse live with human because they all are live in forest. Okay, they all live in forest. Okay, now let's move on to our second question. Choose the odd one out. So option E here will be correct. Why? Because except 441 all are perfect cube. 64 is a cube of 8, and 343 and 728 1728 is also a perfect cube. Okay, now let's move on to our next question. Choose the odd one out. Iron, mercury, copper, zinc, aluminum. So the correct answer will be mercury. Why? Because all of them exist in metal or solid form, but mercury is only an element that exists in liquid form. Look, in this kind of question, I cannot guarantee you that this question will come, because question can be made on anything. So be prepared with some general knowledge. Okay, let's move on to our fourth question. 4 of the following 5 are alike and certain ways, so form a group. What is the one that doesn't belong to that group? So here is the group, but RK Ventrum doesn't belong to group because all the other 4 options were prime minister, but R. Venkataraman was not a prime minister. That's why he was eliminated. Okay, I hope you got a very good understanding. Now, tips related to completion of figures and patterns that we are going to solve in the upcoming minutes. Okay, the first tip is observe the given figure very carefully, because when you are solving completion of figure means you will be given a figure and some part of it will be missing and you have to solve the question. Okay, next tip is make sure read all the options. Okay, third tip is approach the question with step-wise steps. Okay, now let's start with questions. In the following question, find out the right one for replacing the question mark. Okay, and as you are seeing here the question, here are our options. So in the following figure, first observe the figure and focus on details. What kind of details am I saying here? First focus on this. This is a semi means like this, and it is a very small. Okay, now the next thing that you need to observe is figure of the shape that will be also be made here in the place of question mark. Okay, now I think the next thing that you will observe here is this, like when you are making a figure, and then the option that should be present also here, like this. Okay, so the correct option will be B. So before going to the answer, let me tell you how did the B came out. So let's start with A. If you clearly observe A, there is a figure like this, but not like this. Okay, now the other detail that I need to follow in A, that A has this but not this. Okay, so A has been eliminated. Let's move on to B. Okay, if I go to the B, first of all, this is present here, and figure is also same, and if I clearly observe that here is also a detail, so I focus basically on details, and this is a square, so this C and D are already eliminated. Okay, let's move on to our next question. In the following question, find out the right one for replacing the question mark. Okay, so let's solve this. In the following figure, let's look at the details to be focused on. Okay, these are the details that we need to focus on. That there should be a line, and the figure should be made in the way like this. If there is a triangle, means the triangle triangle will basically come here, and this should be opposite side, and the next detail is here. Okay, now we have analyzed the figure. Now let's see the options. Okay, if I clearly see the options, A cannot be the one answer because that line is not here. Okay, so A has been eliminated. If I talk about B, B is completely a different figure because triangle is not there like this. Okay, so B has been eliminated. If I look clearly at C, that will be a correct answer because that detail is also here, but D cannot be because D has a shape like this. Okay, so the correct answer will be the C. Okay, in the following question, find out the right one for replacing question mark. So here is our question mark, and we need to find the right one. In the following figure, first focus on details. What kind of details am I saying? Look at the figure. The first detail is this, so there should be opposite direction like this. The next detail is this, because this is a very small one, so there should be a small one like this in the options. Okay, now let's look at the options. Now let's analyze. Okay, if I go to the options, also a detail is there, like there should not be any kind of line inside, so A has been eliminated. If I go to B, B has a very great shape like this, so it cannot be the option. If I go to C, this cannot be in the figure, so that is also been eliminated, so the left one will be D. Okay, so the correct answer is D. Now let's talk about figure matrix. So there are rows and columns in the matrix that you will see in the question. Horizontal line is called row while the vertical line is called column. Okay. So the horizontal row will look like this and the vertical will look like this. Okay. There is a certain relation between elements of row that you will see in the question. In this type of question, a matrix is given in which one space is left blank denoted by question mark. Okay. 4 answer will be given and you have to choose the right one. Okay. Now in the following question, find out the right one for replacing question mark. Okay, so here the only solution is to observe the pattern. If I observe the pattern from here, the line was like this and then the line become like this. So the line should be like this. So I think the third option should be the correct one. Okay. The first A option will be correct. Why? Because triangle has been already made, circle has already been made, and then the next figure should like this. If clearly observe the difference between these figures, that there is a unique relation, like first this will come, and the left one will be this. So in this figure, triangle has already been, circle has already been used, but the rectangle or the square has not been used. Therefore the A option will be the correct option. Okay. Now in the following question, find out the right one for replacing question mark. So if you clearly observe, the pattern, first the pattern was like this line. Okay. Then in the second row it was blank. Then in the third it was like this, like line was this. Okay. And the second it almost happened the same, but the arrangement was changed. Now if I clearly look at the third figure, the first one was blank, second one was filled with some line. So the left one should be like this. Okay. So the correct option should be fourth one. Let's check the answer. So the correct option will be D. Okay. So that's it for today's, guys. I hope you find the video helpful. If yes, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to join the WhatsApp group for current affairs PDF, and many more videos will come if you support me. Okay.